In today's session of Visual Jforex, I will be continuing with the demonstration of the algorithm development using the indicator named ADX, the average directional index. This is the third part, and in today's session, I will try to complete this whole algorithmic setup. In prior session, so far, I had done the instrument subscription, then the position amount was defined as 0. Then I got these ADX blocks to look at the movement of the ADX, whether it is rising or falling, and to look at the price action, these historical candle blocks to define certain requirements. Then we carried out these calculations using the calculation expression block. These pending order input values, the buy price and the order validity was also defined. And on the lower side, we have already completed the buy side logical requirements, the conditions which need to be in place for the execution of the buy order. In today's session, I will also be defining the stop loss and target price. Here, as of now, we are going with the default values, but in today's session, I will explain to you how you can make it dynamic. So whatever is the underlying volatility, according to that, the stop loss and the target price can be defined. So we will do that. Now, let us start with the sell side. For that, I will also explain to you on the chart what is the requirement for the execution of the sell trade. So we need the ADX to be rising. ADX gives us the idea of the strength of the trend. So whether it is a bullish trend or bearish trend, it doesn't matter. Whenever the momentum is strong, the ADX value will rise above 25 from below 25, and that is the point which we want to use as the execution point for the order. And as and when the value will cross above 25, we want that other requirements should be checked, and if everything is in place, the execution of the sale order should happen. So for that, we also compare the closing value of the last historical candle of the hourly time frame with the historical candle which had closed 5 hours back. And if the difference between these two closing values is more than 10 pips, then we can go ahead for the placement of order. And also we are not really going for the market open, rather than that the pending open is going to be used, and whatever is the volatility we will be using the limit order. So for the sell side, the order will be placed higher than the current market price, and it will be 40% of this price difference of two candles, and we will add that to the last tick price and look and arrive at the desired price for the execution of the sell trade. And also the stop loss and target price is going to be in the risk reward ratio of 1:2. I think stop loss should be as per the volatility, and for that we will simply take the difference between these two closing values of the hourly time frame. And I think unless and until there is significant reversal and total change of momentum, we can't really expect the price to again go back to where it was before the trend was strong. And that is the reason why I think using that point should be good enough as a stop loss, and that's what we are going to do in today's session. So now let us get back to the Visual Jforex board, which has been developed by the Dukascopy Bank SA. So we need first to define the sale execution point. For that, we will have to add the 40% of the candle difference of the sell side setup. This is going to be the sell side candle difference, as we need last hourly candle close to be below the hourly close 5 hours back, and it should be more than 10 pips. So this is the candle price difference, and we will take the 40% of it and add that value to the last tick price. on the ask side. So let us do that. And for that we need the calculation expression block. Server error. I don't know what's wrong. Okay, fortunately it has been resolved. Now we have to take 40% of it, and I think this variable which we used while defining the buy side is the variable which we can use, as it is 0.4. Now let me check one more time. Yes, BED, and here this should be A1 into A2, and this will be cell execution candle difference. Okay, and we will have to add this result of the calculation to the last tick ask, and for that we have to rely on one more calculation expression block, taking a bit more time on tick last tick ask. Okay, and we will add the result of the prior calculation expression block, A1 plus A2, and this is going to be the sell execution price. Okay, and now all we have to do is take stock of the situation. So far we have done these two variables newly, and I think we are good to start adding the inside if blocks, and later on we will also have to define the stop loss and the take price, and we will do it once the sell side structure is ready. So for the time being I will leave this calculation expression block here, and we will not really connect the flow, as we will have to add one more calculation expression block. So now let us get started with defining of the logical conditions using the if block. Components, if ADX value and this one also, one needs to be above 25, the ADX 16 should be crossing above 625. So here the first input greater than second input, and ADX 20, it should be below 25. We take more if blocks, 3 we will need. So first input less than second input. Alright. Now we want to make sure that there is enough of momentum. So for that, the sell side candle difference should be more than 10 pips. So we have these two input parameters in place. First input greater than second input. Now, to define the exact entry point, we will have to take the help of candle 23 and candle 24 closing prices and compare it with the candle 21's closing price, which is the hourly candle, and these are 10 seconds candle. Okay, so candle 21's closing price we need to take. Okay. Now this and candle 24's closing should have been above the candle 21's close, and then the candle 23's close happens below. That means now the price is going below the closing value of last hourly candle. So this first input greater than second input, and then this candle 23 should be below. Okay, so now is the time to bring in trading block pending open. Close. Now here this is going to be a sell limit order. And the input price is going to be what we have calculated just 2 minutes back, which is SEP. Trade amount is going to be 0.1 million, slippage 2 pips. Stop loss and take profit we will define shortly, and the order validity is going to be 2 hours, which we had calculated in prior session. So far so good. Now two things remain. Two input values need to be defined, and this we will define now. And for that I'm going to use this difference between these two hourly closing candles for the buy side and for the sell side. The stop loss and take profit prices will be different. It will be dependent on the price action. So for that, both the sides will need to be defined independently. So this is the sell side candle difference, and we will multiply it by the pip conversion factor. And since the default instrument for this session is Euro USD, we will have to use 10 raised to the power 4, as Euro USD has 4 decimal points in its value, in its price. So So for that, to change the double data type to the integer, I will have to multiply it by the peak conversion factor, which is 10k. Okay, this is the variable a1 into a2, and this will be the sell side stop loss. So we will name it as LS, and its value will be the output of this calculation. Similarly, we will define the buy side stop loss as well. We will need 3 more calculation blocks. Mathematical and here we will join the iteration flow preemptively, and now the take profit for the sell side is simply going to be the twice of stop loss, so we will use it directly and create a new variable, the loss take profit conversion. Okay, it will have the value of 2, so our target price will be twice the stop loss, and this will be a1 into a, and the result of the calculation is going to be a new variable named STP. Right, and same exercise we will now need to do for the buy side. So in this case, we take this candle difference and take the conversion factor. We do a1 into a2, and then the result of the calculation, this needs to be in integer format, integer data type. Okay, this will be by stop loss. Okay, and then we take the stop loss value and multiply it by 2. Again, a1 into a2, and the result of the calculation, first we have to change it to integer, will be by TP. Okay, so now we have defined this. I will join the flow and we will change the parameters for buy trade command as well. stop loss and take profit. So we are here now done with both the sides, buy as well as sell. Now all that needs to be done is arranging these blocks and then joining them and making sure the trade flow is happening all fine. So we will have to check it one more time. I will also use the color coding option provided. Okay. So here we are done with the sell side, defining of conditions, and now to make sure everything is perfect, I will have to take it one more time. And yes, everything looks good to me. So that's it from my side for today's session. If any of you have any query or any idea to share, you can write to me in the feedback section and I will be more than happy to take the discussion forward. I would suggest that you try out this algorithmic structure on your own and also do testing on historical data to see whether it is profitable or not in the longer term. And then if it is, you can even use it for your own trading account. Thank you all for joining in. See you next time. Till then, goodbye.